Today's topic is Avtex fibers in Front Royal. Avtex is now controlled by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The plant lies empty. At one time, it was the biggest employer in the town of Front Royal. Today we'll be speaking with Charles Leadman from the Avtex Fibers plant at the local union headquarters.
My name is C.E. Chuck Leadman. I come to Front Royal in 1940 as a lead burner to help build the plant. I got involved with the union and I represented the union here for 33 years. I found a utopia in Front Royal because we had the best labor management relationship that existed in the 7 plants of the company. We never had a strike in this plant. We built the union hall here in 1948, and we bought it back from the National Union in conjunction with a fraternal order of police. And in my opinion, we're going to develop one of the most solid organizations that exists in this community for public service. And we're quite proud of the way things are going. We're having bingo here on Sunday night, and what we're going to be able to do for this community is going to be outstanding. And what we want to do is to upgrade this building until it's going to be the best facilities in this community. We have a custodian here that sometime I want you to let him run down what we are really doing with this building now as far as public service is concerned. And this is the thing. When we bought the facility back from International Union, what they done is they financed it for us. We give them $25,000 a piece, and that was $25,000 for FOP and $25,000 for our retirees club. And they carried the $100,000 for a year without interest. We paid them $25,000 at the end of that year. They're carrying the $75,000 another year without interest, and I'm sure this will continue until we've paid for it. We've spent over $50,000 on the building, putting a new roof on it, putting in smoke heaters, and the things that we're doing to upgrade it. And our customers, as bingo, we want to be sure that we furnish them with the best facilities and make them more comfortable in any place they can be. So this is our goal to reach, and we're striving for that. And the policemen, both the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department of Front Royal, are real dedicated people. And we have so many stories here we can tell you of dedications, and I don't think we have enough time to do today. But we have a wonderful program here, and I think with your program that you're going to be able to do more for this community than we can believe. We're going to need you. All right?
Okay,
now, I have a
stop there for
in this community, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they had to be a plant manager at this plant, but one of the other 7 plants. And so we're quite proud of the type of relationship that we built here, and we sort of put our family back together with our retirees club. And we didn't include our treasurer which is one of the greatest public servants we have is Jimmy Coburn. He was a department head in the spinning department. So these people have come in and fill right in, and we just put everything together. We went in with the police, we brought them in as a full partner, and the National Union has been so generous with us, it makes it possible for us to do a lot of the things that we're doing now. And this whole thing is dedicated for public service. This is what the Union Hall's dedicated for when we dedicated it. And we have a couple of parties every year, and we like to have our people get out, and we meet once every month. The third Monday in every month at 2 o'clock we have a meeting, and then after that meeting we have a special executive board between our executive board and FOP's executive board, where we will spend money and make decisions there. Our organizations are separate, but we come together as a combined, and this is where we make our decisions, how we spend our money, what we're going to buy and what we're not going to buy, what we're going to do with the building. And we have plans to put an addition on the building, and that's one of the things that we will be talking about the first of next year. We've got to come up with a lot of changes to take care of people in wheelchairs and so on and so forth, but we're in compliance because we got plans to do that, and these are things that we're committed to do. And every one of these projects is moving forward, and the relationship, sort of like when people get married, and I've been married 60 years, you learn to live together. We're learning to live together, and we're going to, as I say, probably have one of the most solid organizations that this community is going to have, because the police department will be here as long as we have a Front Royal. They will be here. So we thought the partnership we made with them was the ideal partnership. Now, the president of our organization is a man with a lot of experience in the unions. He represented the AFL-CIO in Richmond for 20 or 30 years. He's now a councilman over in Middletown. Handles all their finances, a guy with great ability, and he's president. I'm vice president. I'm the guy that runs all their errands for them, see? And I'm happy to do that because, as I say, I haul the garbage away on Monday morning. Nobody tells me I have to, but I come down and pick up the garbage and take it away, take it out to the dump. And when Bob Pope needs to change the air filters, I tell him that, let me know, Bob, and we need about 4 people to do it. So I've been helping Bob with that, and it's quite a job. We have to change these things about every 5 weeks. And this takes the smoke out of the building. It doesn't do the job we like it to do, but I've got one of our next plant manager's wife is an artist, and she's going to draw us, give us a landscape picture that we can rifle off. We're going to put a fan up in the, so that if we get a little smoke in here, we can take it out of here. What we're looking at is to make our customers, that really means that we are either successful or not, we're going to make them as comfortable as humanly possible. We have a kitchen back here, we have good help back there. The chaplain and his wife from the Sheriff's Department do a great job back there. Louise Bowers and her husband work back there. Julian Carper, our president, works back there. Jack Brooks, Charlie Weimer, and just possible to name them all. We was able to get the people that run the bingo for the moose through a friend of mine, which is Manuel Pullen, brought in Charlie Jenkins, and they are the reason why we're successful. They were professionals at this, and they've been so devoted to us, and so we sort of do things for each other. And this is the thing. This is where we're at today, and I'm sure that there's so many interesting. I'd like to just mention one of the ladies, and her name is Farrell. Her husband lost his life working for the town as a policeman. And she has a daughter, and they're down here as faithful as it can be. And we would hope that somewhere we can form some auxiliaries by teenagers to come in and help. And the things like, for instance, they have an organization here, the senior prom. no drugs, no alcohol. Well, we donated some money last year. We can draw them in to give us some help. You can't believe we can let them have the Union Hall. And these are the things that we're looking for, is to reach out to this community and make it one of those places like Jim Payne, who was head of the Chamber of Commerce, a good place to live and to work and to play. And this is a goal that we have for the Union Hall. And when I say this, I'm speaking for both the police department, FOP, and our organization. And I'm sure we're blessed with a wonderful town manager. He hasn't been here long, but I think you're going to meet him. And he's not only, Larry Daniel is head of the police department, but also Lyle Lacey is his boss. So I understand you're going to meet him, and I'm sure you're going to be proud when you meet him that he has inherited a task here in Front Royal where we've got so much money that we've got to spend on sewers and roads and bridges that he's going to need all the help he can get, and I'm sure that you're going to give it to him. And we're going to look forward to your program.
And which nights are the bingo games?
On Sunday night, and we open the door at 4:30 and start at 5:30. And this is where we need to draw in more help, and the people that devoted themselves, I can name you people come from Woodstock and Strasburg faithfully that help us with bingo, and these are our former members or members of our retirees club. So our family is sort of back together, and I've been in Front Royal, as I say, 55 years starting next year, and I have devoted my whole life to dealing for other people, and I'm going to do it as long as I can live. And I've got a sad note. I'm going to leave here and go to West Virginia. I lost my youngest sister just yesterday, and I'm going to be headed out for Nitro. That's where I came from, and I've enjoyed my life here in Front Royal, my family. And I'm looking forward to your program, and I know you're going to be successful.
And were most of the union members employees at the Avtex plant? Are most of your members of the Retirees Club?
They had to have worked at the plant. And as long as they worked at the plant, they're eligible to join. Of course, they're scattered out on the schedule they have now, but we have a very good retirees club, and we enjoy getting together once a month because we worked together for all these years, and the plant was out here 50 years. So when you spend that much time, and I've been here 55 years, and that means that I'm getting old enough to retire. I just turned 80 in June.
And for how many years? I understand you were the president of the union?
I was president 2 years and 31 years as business manager, right.
And at the present time, you are handling some cases?
I handled a lot of disability Social Security. I never charged anybody anything. I got more cases. I got 2 cases on the 10th of January in Winchester before the law judge. I just won a case for a guy that he spent probably $700 on our facilities. Rather than give me something, I say give it to our club. So really this is where we're at, and we're learning to do things for each other. And we think it's so good that people you've worked with so many years. And see, we were scattered over 50 mile around here. I can go out of town 50 mile and I'm likely to run across somebody that I know because I knew virtually everybody in the mill. And had a relationship with them. And of course, some people would say, I've heard of you. I said, which side of me did you hear about? Some people, always you're going to have people say, look, let's get rid of Leadman. He's been in office too long. But still, we have a very good organization, and I think we're fortunate we was able to hold on to the Union Hall, and with the help from the FOP, made it possible. We were too old to take on this task ourselves. So this thing come up right at the time, and I think maybe Providence sent it here, and my next door neighbor, who is the father-in-law of the chief of police, they're both in, and Larry Daniels has some mules on my property. And so we've enjoyed, and I think we're going to build something here that a program like you've got can get out to the public what we're doing, and when they know what we're doing, they can't do anything but accept us. And it'll make more people get interested in coming and have some input. This is really what we need. And we're quite happy with the people we're dealing with within FOP. As I say, families have their quarrels when they first get married, and we had a few, but they're straightened out, and things are on a good, solid basis now, and we're quite pleased with the decision we made to bring them in.
I understand that when the Avtex plant was open, it was the biggest employer in the town of Front Royal at that time.
We had over 2,000 people working, probably 3,000 at one time. We made 1/3 of all the tar cord made for bomber tars at this plant in World War II. When they went from nylons, they used to use nylon for bomber tar cord. Remember, we made a tar cord here out of rayon. When they went from nylon to rayon, they doubled the capacity of this plant. The government come in and bought machines, put up 50 extra machines, and all these things was, so we was right in the middle of the war and contributed a lot to the war. And we had a big plant, and we never had trouble. You never had to worry, what are you going to shut the plant down tomorrow or not. You just, I just don't believe that people should be called on to hit the bricks. So we see why we brought in, and we wanted to know. We brag about the relationship we had, but when you brag about it, you got to have some good people on the other side of the fence to deal with. So we want to pay our respects to those people. Hi, Bob. Now let me say that's Bob Pope, and he's the custodian here. Come over here, Bob. Come over here. She's taking us, and come on over here.
What are you taking for?
For Front Royal Cable.
He's the guy that can tell you what we do here, what we're doing for public service. He keeps good records, so he's quite an asset to us. He's afraid to get on camera, so you just well get on over here, Bob, because I called your wife and told you. Because he's the guy that can tell you all the things like I mentioned to her, Bob, about the state police coming in here and having seminars, and they're bringing their experts in. This is all free gratis, isn't it? We get
right.
So these are the type of things that we're already set up to do, and that we're doing. And so.
How long did you work at Avtex?
He never worked there.
I never worked there.
He's with FOP.
Oh,
Now, you just stay still. You don't.
See, I was being cautious coming. My dog will bite you, so you better watch.
This is Mr. Leadman's faithful companion.
That's why I was being a little cautious about sitting down here. So that dog will bite you.
She won't bite you, Bob. She will too.
She's tried to bite me.
But this is the thing that Bob's the man that can tell you what we do, and we're not ashamed of what we're doing. And we haven't scratched the surface of what we planned. Is that right, Bob?
That's true.
That's exactly where we're at. And I wanted you to know, if you want any information of exactly what we use, he can show you his calendar up there. And this is a thing we're proud of. And as I say, I've said we're quite proud of our relationship as it's developing in a good, solid. I said you're like a marriage. Once in a while you have a little fight, but we're learning every day to live together, and we're proud of it.
Well, the police academy used to get all the people from this area, which is Frederick County, Shenandoah, and Rockingham, Warren, and what have you, and send them all the way to Waynesboro. But this past year, or this year, the teachers have been coming here, and we've been letting them use the hall and the conference room for free to keep these officers from having to drive all the way down there. So I feel like it's better to maybe have the 2 or 3 teachers drive here than to have 25 or 30 officers to drive that distance. So we have had quite a number of academy training here this year during 1994. And we also take in consideration people that are trying to raise money, like we have a couple singing groups that raise money for the Salvation Army and for the Linden Fire Department. We let them have the hall free also. They have to pay the deposit, but once they leave the hall the way they found it, the deposit is returned to them. And if they don't leave it that way, then we take out for it.
So what is happening, we're carrying it out, when we dedicated, it was dedicated for public service. If FOP needs it 95% of the time, there's no conflict. As long as it's used for public service, this is what this hall's for. This really belongs to the public, and as I say, the police department will be here as long as we have a town. So we took in good partners, and as our relationship is developing in a very congenial way, we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
Another thing, the churches used to sponsor the Scouts, the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts and what have you. And since the FOP is involved with the Scouts, having children in them, they also use the hall for free. And then we have several majorette groups. So anytime we can use the hall for these groups, that when the retirees or FOP sponsor them, then we let them have the hall free to get these children off the street and to, we feel, train them. And we have one other group that came in, a majorette group. I believe we have 3 majorette groups meeting here now. And we charge them for the hall that ordinarily rents for $350, $35 just for their, well, I believe I did reduce it to $25 just to help them out, because they don't mess the place up, and they come in with their music and more or less use the center of the hall for their, it's not dancing or anything like that, it's just their training.
We've got a lot of interesting people that you will want to, if your program goes, and I think it will, we've got plenty of people that have a lot of credibility here that's donated so much to this, and we want the public to know who they are.
Now, I don't know whether Chuck told you or not, but each Sunday we have bingo here starting at 4:30 and start playing at 5:30. And we have people come from as far away as down at Midland, below Fredericksburg and Catlett and Rectortown and Culpeper, Harrisonburg, Winchester, Luray. We have quite a number of people come from Luray or Page County every week. So it gives the people something to do on Sunday afternoon when they probably all we do is sit at home and watch television. So we feel like this is another good service, and that's one of the ways we're trying to pay for this building.
And we are paying for it.
Thank you very much for joining our first program of Front Royal Cable.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Leadman has a favorite poem that he carries in his wallet, and I'd like to read that for you right now. My desire. If I can let into some soul a little light, if I some pathway dark and drear can render bright, if I to one in gloom can show the sunny side, though no reward I win, I shall be satisfied.